bracelets, now I'm headed to class. I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so say your stride with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the fact of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's all mine, all mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. Wanna drift to say some shit, just block that internet free. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. I messaged some bounty over Tumblr last night. She said, Roar X3, so it's true love at first sight. Throw out my candy bracelets, now I'm headed to class. I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you. I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so say you're straight with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the fact of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's all mine, all mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. Wanna drift to say some shit, just block that internet freak. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you. I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. I messaged some bounty over Tumblr last night. She said, raw X3, so it's true love at first sight. Throw out my candy bracelets, now I'm headed to class. I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the. I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dragon's Arcade, and we shall continue our search for the missing magician. I played a game of baseball while I was waiting for like the last few minutes. So we've got another token, hopefully I'll have those eventually. We can try out whatever that bad weapon is. I've heard the weapon is really bad. But hey, it's another weapon, another thing I can throw ammo at, right? Anyway, I have some news! Dragon and book lovers, I hope... Oh man, should I wait until like maybe Dawnzy comes on? No, we got 2 people in the chat. We got some people to listen. I found what I'm going to be playing next. It's not a game from this year, it's a game from last year. Oh boy. So I don't know how I missed this, but I have occasionally missed things.
Okay, Jack.
But it looks promising. There is a game called Through Blood and Dragons, Dragon War. And it is... like, exactly the kind of thing I should be playing. It is a game where you play as a dragon. It is like a flight combat game, which I don't play a ton of, but if I do play just dragon versions. Hello, Code and Assembly. Good to see you. And not only is it a game based on dragons,
circle around this bunch.
It is also based on a book. That's right, this is a book adaptation. I believe the author's last name was Schultz. It is the Through Blood and Dragons series. I have not read it, but now I'm going to. And I just thought, oh my god, it's a double feature. I can read the first book while I play the game, and I can, you know, get a book review and a dragon review. And here's the best part, everybody. You want to hear the best part? It has 1 review, which is positive. I didn't read the details, but it had a thumbs up for the game. So it's a positive review, but there also aren't a ton of reviews. It has 1 review on Steam. 1 review! This is... and it's positive, which means it's not even like just like a bad game. It looks like a decent game. Like, there's not like a ton of money behind it, but it looks pretty decent. I want to try it! I could play something nobody else is reviewing. It's a book review. It's based on dragons. The 1 review it does have is positive, so it implies that I'm not going to be wasting my time. Guys, I think this is like the fucking Goldilocks zone of what I'm after, right? Like, this is the it feels like this game was like made for me. It really does. It feels like somebody like was like, oh yeah, we should give Ramble the exact kind of game that will be right up his alley, and I missed it. It came out last year in October. I have neglected it for a full half of a year. I do not know how I have done this. I feel ashamed. I feel like I have failed as a dragon librarian. I am deeply ashamed that I did not find it earlier, but I have found it now, and that's what matters. In case you can't tell, I need to put my smile. I need to put my smiley face. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. This game has like ticked all my boxes, and I'm just in like full freak out. I literally found it a little while ago because I'm like, hey, I'm almost done with I'm almost done with, right, Ninja Gaiden 1. I should probably look around for other games. I've been doing the Cultist review, you know, making sure I have everything. I'm like, I should probably start on that. I'm gonna have to finish I have like 1 more week, I think, of you know, Ninja Gaiden. So I have the time to finish up the Rachel Aaron book I have, and to like get everything ready. But boy, I'm so, can you tell how hype I am for this? Can you tell how excited I am? It looks like some Panzer Dragoon thing. Also, they finally made the Dragon Rider a goddamn archer, apparently. Like, the main gimmick of the game is you play a dragon and the rider who is an archer. Oh, which, I mean, like, if you're gonna make your guy a dragon rider, like, why do they have... I get having magic swords is cool and all, but give them a bow, right? Like, if you're a mounted cavalry who can fucking fly, you should either be a wizard or an archer. Being a warrior atop a dragon doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, Aragon had to do a bunch of shit to, like, justify why the Dragon Riders were swordsmen. You know? Like, there were scenes in the battle, like the Battle of the Burning Plains, when Aragon was describing how you had to, like, reach down to slash people with his sword. And he had to, like, reach down to slash the mounted cavalry, right? Because Saphira was so big by that point. And I get it, having a magic sword that can, like, set on fire, or turns, you know, like, cut through magic. Like, it's all very cool. Magic swords are inherently awesome. I get why you want a magic sword, but at the same time, Oh boy. So yeah, I have just found this game. I'm going to post in the Discord so everybody else can see it. I'm very happy about it. It mostly because it's just something that's like right up my alley. And even if the game is bad, because no one is reviewing it even on Steam, right? It's definitely something that I can feel like I can contribute words to. I mean, that's the whole thing we were talking about last time when I was talking about Bloodborne was I want to do a Bloodborne review because I feel like the Bloodborne anime movie is the best time I can think of where I'm going to have like an opportunity to reasonably do something about it. But I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure how much I can contribute there. I'll be able to contribute something, but it's going to be enough for a full review. This is like, I can contribute here. I can read the book. I can see how well the game matches up. I've played other Dragonflight combat games, like that one where you're just like a dragon who gets woken up in World War II and starts burning everything in sight. I've got things to say, baby. There's nothing that makes me happier than having things to say about a work of art. Other than maybe like finishing a piece. Also, in addition to working on the homepage thing, which I think I should have finished tomorrow, I've also been working on the occultist thumbnail on top of, you know, I've been like planning out like what the thumbnail should look like for that, because I've got the footage all put together. I just need to finish the Omens review tomorrow, and then I'll get started on actually cutting together all the footage, or not cutting together, I've already cut together, but like to take the footage I have cut up and, you know, put it in a review, kind of like get my script finished up and record it, and maybe have Frederick like listen or read over it after I do it, so I don't have another situation like last time. But yes, I am in a very good mood. I feel like after a bit of a slump at the start of this year, I've reignited my passion. My flame burns bright. My wings are on like full display, and I'm just standing there striking like that. You know the epic dragon pose, right? You know the pose. You know, head thrown back, roaring, top of a mountain, maybe lightning, like, you know, when Amazandam from Dragon Prince, when, like, the thunder crashes down behind him, we all know the classic dragon victory pose. That's the mood, that's my mood at the moment. That is my mood at the moment. I'm not, like, victorious in battle yet, but I feel like I am ready to ignite and to spread my flame across the world. Oh, man. Oh, so yeah, I am in a very good mood. Oh, we have a ticket. Wait, why are I thought the police had this place on lockdown. Finally finished Nevergrave, wonderfully fun game. Dawnseeker, my friend, it is good to see you. So, any overarching thoughts on Nevergrave? Oh, they're all like being held here, huh? They're like, yeah, you gotta stick around and give your testimony. Really? How was the final boss? Was it like a good final boss that like actually tested you on your skills, or was it kind of eh? But the ride up to it was good. Because I find most games are either the boss is really good or the boss is like kind of just a speed bump on the way out. Yeah, we'll just like take some photographs of this crime scene. Overall thoughts, I'd highly recommend it. All right, after I might have to grab one. I might have to grab that alongside the new Through Blood and Dragons game. That's the game I just went on a big rant about, by the way. That has a book that's like based on a book. So I'm excited. I feel like I'm in an amazing mood. I feel like I almost feel delighted. Like someone spiked happy juice into my life. Not like alcohol, but like, I don't know, raw dopamine. I wonder what would happen if you drank raw dopamine. Because I know it's like an actual chemical, but it's a neurological it's like a brain chemistry hormone chemical. What would happen if you drank it? Like if you took raw dopamine, just like did a shot of it. That's a weird. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but I am. I swear I actually did get a good night's sleep last night. I'm not operating as a sleep-deprived madman. I just like
You the chief around here?
don't know how to describe it. Nevergrave, I will
Me?
say, doesn't do anything truly
you wanna
groundbreaking.
rub
They do make
salt into my
full
wound,
use of the
huh?
possession
Your
mechanic.
what in your what?
Really?
You one of
It's
them
been a while
puppets, huh?
since I've seen a game that
Then
makes like
again,
full
I
use of
see.
possession
Yeah,
as its like
something
main
like that.
mechanic.
So tell me, what the
I
hell
know there have
happened
been a
here?
few games
Can
that
you
have done
see
that.
it? Francesco
You know,
de Elefanto, he killed Mr. Kerr.
There's that one game, oh god,
Madre
there's the
di
one game
Dio,
H. Bomber
what a
guy talked about,
disaster.
where the
Got an
oomph
opening
sound
tonight.
effect from Roblox was apparently from this
Really
game
wish you would
originally.
Stop doing that.
Well, no, you don't have to
Stop
do
a
anything
what?
groundbreaking to be fun. Yeah.
Just walk me through what happened.
It's something
step
a lot
by
of like
step.
game reviewers can sometimes get stuck
we
in their
had a
nails on,
rehearsal.
which is like, ah, it's
Francesco
kind of bland. I'm like,
high on
yeah,
the
but does it
wire.
do its
He's a
thing well?
novelist, does he?
A lot of fantasy
Yeah, I
books
don't
can be like
know
that for
what
me.
that
As long as
is.
they do their execute
See
their
up
themes well and are a
there?
fun time, they're at
He
least
walk
okay.
a line
And like
and he-
executing a well-established
Fell.
trope effectively
Oh, me,
can
oh,
sometimes
me,
be
oh.
almost better
Right. So
than
where is he
poorly
now?
or
And why does
mediocrely
it
doing
look like a
something
tornado
interesting,
hit
doing
this
something
place?
unique, right?
Oh, this Elefanto.
Like if you do something
is
ground,
really
if you do something
adorable.
groundbreaking, you do it well.
Look at
It will
that
always
mess.
be better
He
than doing
went
something
straight
that
through
somebody's
a
done 1,000
Bronx.
times.
Wasn't just
But-
panic, right?
If you're
See?
doing the classic
See,
fantasy Lord of the
Francesco's
Rings
got a
thing,
bit of
right?
a
You're doing like the
problem, huh?
elves or the
me
magic folk who
guess.
love trees, and the
Cheese.
dwarves love their
But chugs like a
forges
water,
and are a warrior,
Oh, boy.
craftsman
Oh, boy,
people.
indeed.
And you
So he
effectively do
falls,
that. You
freaks
execute
out,
it very well with
barks
solid characters,
Don't tell
excellent
me he's
themes,
afraid of
good,
mice.
exciting
Or that the
battles,
clowns
intriguing
were behind
mysteries. That can be
hate
solid.
clowns.
That can be all you
And
need. Is to do
mimes.
it right,
You
do it
stupid.
well.
No. The chief
Sometimes I
is the
do,
one
I
of
do
it.
like
He's a sulking
interesting new
somewhere
ideas,
in the
and I think new
debris,
ideas
huh?
are objectively good
Right.
for games in
I'll
general.
poke
You know, you
around
don't
and
want
check
to
in on
only see the same
Francesco.
things over and over again.
You see anyone
I will
messing
say
with
I
the
do think
equipment?
some games get
Eh?
stuck on the
Crowd was
whole,
it
we have
full,
to be
huh?
completely
Could've been
original
anyone. Take
or
a look
complete
around, huh?
groundbreaking, you know?
It's a stupid old
Doing different things
Elefanto.
just for the sake
Him
of
and his
being different
Donato
sometimes.
vices.
Man,
the money we're
although I
gonna
do like
sink
people
into
trying new
cleanup.
things, so it's
I
it's
knew
not.
he was
I
faking
don't want to
that
make this
accent.
like, oh, games should never try new things. No, games should absolutely try new things. Just like make sure if you're trying something, you're trying it to like actually try it, not because you don't want to do the same thing everyone else did. Yeah, Pocket Pair, because they recognize you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Pocket Pair is actually weirdly interesting, because you're right, a lot of their stuff is like very basic ass. Like Power World, let's be real, if Power World wasn't Pokemon, if they didn't have their Pokemon gimmick, they would be like 1,000 other survival crafting games. But they did the Pokemon gimmick, and they did it well in a way that Nintendo has refused to do over the last few years.
Hey, this is the way to the elephant's dressing
Now, I will
room.
say Pocket Pair also
Yeah,
exemplifies
but
the
as
opposite
you can
end of
see,
this,
cleanup's
right?
still a
Where they
mess. You have to
copy
be
some
like
of Nintendo's games a bit,
fast as the wind.
a bit just kind of
Run on
like
walls.
half-heartedly, or
Can
because
you
they
do that?
can,
Yeah, I don't think I can.
in ways
Or
that can be a
even
bit
want to.
boring.
Don't let your dreams be
What
dreams.
the hell?
Just do it,
Ugh.
please.
What are you doing to my poor shoes? What did this man do to my shoes? Oh, my shoes have octopus
Hey, man,
suckers on them.
We're not even done down here.
I know I can wall run. I think this might act. I actually don't want these wall running shoes. Please get them off me. Gross. Oh, look, it's Dumbo's mom.
Yes?
Francisco
Hey,
the
I'm,
Elefanto.
No, the police.
Look,
Oh,
it's
no.
Dumbo.
I'm
Do you guys
a
remember that
private
time
dick.
Dumbo got fucking
The
slammed?
language.
Like,
As
how many
a
people remember that
private
time Dumbo
detective.
got completely drunk off
Just
his
here to
ass?
ask a few questions. You do that.
That
all
happens in
while I
a
rack
Disney
off them.
movie.
Yes, sir.
Entertain, have fun. Fun
Since
is
I
the
was
goal.
a
An aspect I
baby,
think is making people
it's
lost.
by,
Well, the reason it's been lost is
grace,
because it's
yes.
more profitable to
Yeah,
charge you for
coup de grace,
microtransactions to keep
indeed.
playing the game, right?
So, what went sideways this
Hey,
time?
Nerd Dragon, how
I
you
don't
been,
know,
my
sir.
friend?
Swear on my mother's grave.
This is a Dumbo reference from when he got
Well,
sloshed.
not much to work with, but everything cracks with.
Although
the
he's
right
also got
nudge.
tranked. He also got tranked. Man got tranked. Not sloshed, he got tranked. Recent Mouseburg Herald. Pierrot Jake Buns, or Pierogi, as his friends call him, was such a small-time crook. Thanks to a rehabilitation program, Miles Curd, Buns turned things around, launching over legitimate business, and rose to become one of the Big Mouse Party's most loyal and trusted members. Oh, joy. Rehabilitation. Yeah, that's not going to be sus at all.
It's
The
like
fascist
finding
party
cheese in a
rehabilitating
maze.
criminals to do their dirty work. Not sus. Not sus at all.
I didn't do nothing bad, sir.
Really? Then why is there a bucket of blue cheese leftovers in your room?
What? Oh, no. Marco was supposed to dump... I mean, take out the trash. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
No, you got slammed. You got
Hey,
slammed.
relax.
You got slammed
I'm
with
not
blue
here to
cheese, man. You
arrest
gotta lay
you.
off the blue cheese. Blue cheese is gonna make you
Really?
loopy.
Really? Now talk to me.
Where'd you
Where'd
get,
you get the cheese?
Where'd you get the
no,
cheese?
Sir, one never disclosed.
But no, Nerd Dragon, I have found a new dragon game.
All
And
right,
it's
let's
based
try
on a
this
book.
another way.
And has like one
Is it your
review on
regular
Steam,
dosage?
and the review is
Same
technically positive.
dealer?
Through Blood and Dragons, everybody.
Oh,
That's our next game, and then I might try Nevergrave. I probably won't do the whole Nevergrave because it took you a while to get through it, honestly, because I don't have like that kind of time. But I will definitely try it out, maybe for like a stream or two at least. And if if I'm really into it, might pop up on the regular. Could be fun. Could be fun.
Blurry, and then well, you
Oh, his cheese got
Depends.
drugged. Blue cheese, what in the Willy Wonka? Remember, all the alcohol is cheese, as is cigarettes. Cigarettes are string cheese. Alcohol. Put this in recommendations. I'm going to. I'm going to put it in actually, I can go ahead and do it now while we're going through the cutscene.
Ran to my room, straight through the decorations.
I'm going to put it in there.
So, panic.
Oh man.
Mozzarella, gorgonzola, sir.
All right, I think that's...
All right. Blood and Dragons. Dragon Wars. It looks like a Panzer Dragoon kind of thing.
all for now. Get some rest,
And also, one
lay
cool
off
thing
the
is
cheese.
apparently, if I'm not mistaken, or either this one or another one that has like the Dragon Rider be an archer. I think this one has the Dragon Rider also be an archer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So an archer. So the Dragon Rider is an actual archer, which makes way more sense than being like a knight or a swordsman. I've always like having the opinion that like Dragon Riders should use either magic or ranged weaponry. It just makes sense, right?
See? I told you something was off. Cops all over, and now a PI? Bet it's got something to do with that dame.
Dame.
What dame?
Third row, the one you were ogling. Right up until
Ooh.
the elephant dropped on that poor guy. And don't give me that I have a squint BS.
There are multiple different types of dragons.
Oh, zip
It
it.
looks fun, and it's based on a
Interesting.
book. And
Time
they
to
actually
check the
advertise the
audiences.
book in there. It's an actual tie-in style thing. I have not ever... I don't think I've ever seen, like, a full-on tie-in for book series in games. Like, even The Witcher didn't, like, throw a book in the marketing, you know? Like, The Witcher 3's trailer might have said, like, based on the book series, but it didn't, like, throw an image of the Witcher books in there, right? This one, they literally show you an image of the cover. Like, full up. They're just, like, outright advertising the book series, and I was like, ooh, cool. Specifically because of the fact that the motivation in making
Hey, man,
games, the very reason I
we're
look
not
forward to
even
playing
done
them.
down here.
Maybe Power World with fun as the goal. True. And, like, I do think that some people can get a little, like, caught up in ripoffs. It's like, oh, it's a ripoff. Like, it immediately invalidates the game being fun. It's old Panzer Dragon. It reminds me of some whimsical games, early 2000s. Like, I know, right? Oh, I see. Up here. Oh. One thing I do kind of agree with Pocket Pair's ego statistic. Like, yes, copying is like wrong. And like that other game that Pocket Pair did not do that like basically added Link to a knockoff, like full on just copy pasted Link. That's a little much. Oh. Alright. But like, replicating mechanics is something video games have been doing for ages, and it's how video games get better. One of the things I still, like, I hate the negative implication that being a copycat has for games. Because games, even more so than, like, books and other media, where, like, copying ideas can, you know, when it's mostly about story, right, as opposed to gameplay, and copying ideas can be, like, make things very derivative. PC Whimsy of the early 2000s, yeah. 'Twas a magnificent evening, my dear, aside from that little cheese incidento with that dumbo elefanto. He's a good boy, see? Just can't lay up the cheese, Oh my god, it's this accent. This is like fucking Dracula, that fucking Texan from Dracula level shit. If he ever discovers the blue, we are doomed. Doomed. There's a high-profile meet after the Grande Spectaculo. Regular thing. Stop with the on the clown backstage. Invite only. I'm surprised they didn't do like invite only. The police, some old world eggheads, very exclusive. I'm kind of big here, so I might get you in, eh? Until tomorrow. Sai Bella. Ciao Bella. Ciao Bella. Ciao Bella. P.S. I'm leaving my wife immediately. Wife. Nicolo Mangiano.
A high-profile meeting.
Mangia.
Yeah.
But no, like,
Can't afford to
copying
miss that.
game mechanics is a way that games improve, because you iterate on them, right? Like, Pocket Pair didn't just copy Pokemon. They were like, look at what Pokemon Legends is doing. Okay, so we're gonna take that, the whole, you can throw out your Pokemon anywhere and have them exist in the 3 worlds, but we're gonna have them integrated into, like, the full gameplay.
True size.
Like, as opposed to just battling and movement, you use them for, like, everything. They, like, help you build your base and become your sweatshop workers and everything like that.
Definitely used.
They actually fleshed
like the
out the
ones
mechanic
that
and grew it. It's
won't
why when things get trademarked, you know, when they trademark or copyright gameplay mechanics, sort of like how the Nemesis system got trademarked. It's always a net negative for the world, because that system wasn't perfect. It was amazing and innovative, but it wasn't perfect. There was room for it to grow and evolve. Wait, Pokemon Legend was made after Power Worlds was conceived? Oh, that's even worse for Nintendo. Because Nintendo had all the years in the world to make Pokemon. See, I think that's one of the reasons I also don't find Pocket Pair as egregious as, like, someone copying the plot of a movie or something and, like, doing it with, like, not, like, you know, not Gandalf and not Frodo or whatever. Policia. No, this is a fake accent. They're not going to use the actual words where that whole gimmick would work. They're not going to have the thing be legitimate.
Huh? No, I'm not doing anything. Cross my trunk.
One is a copy count. We're not calling this out because it's an outstanding game. Yeah. And, like, again, I feel no guilt for Pokemon. I feel no shame from Pocket Pair's behalf, because Nintendo has had 2 decades and some change to make Pokemon more innovative. Like, the second and first, I'll give them time for the second and first games, and for a little bit after that, because 3D gaming was still in its infancy, and Pokemon was, you know, had a bit of time to, like, explore its initial premise. But by the time Pokemon, like, XD Gale of Darkness, right? Then we had the Nintendo DS games, and then around Black and White, there were a lot of innovations in Black and White, but none of them hit, and after that I feel like Pokemon got in a bit of a rut. Just new super forms, and that's basically it. You know, new super forms, new alt forms, but that's your lot. Pokemon will remain basically the same. We've moved from 2D pixel art, and then they just kind of stayed there forever. And so I feel no guilt when someone grabs your premise and is like, well, if you're not going to use this for something fucking interesting, I will. Jeez, already. You had a decade. Get over it. Then Nintendo was like suing them. It's like, what are you suing them for? Doing your job better than you did? All these Metal Gear copycats parody called Spy Fiction. It's years ahead in terms of gameplay. Yeah. You don't see Kojima going after the random Metal Gear inspired games. Nintendo has been like that for a bit. You just know that if they made Mario today, they would try and find a way to copyright an Italian plumber. Like, the concept of an Italian plumber. Actually, they have tried to do shit with that. There was that time, I think there was like an Italian... I forget where exactly it was. It was either in Spain or Italy or whatever. Or maybe it was Brazil, where there was this grocery chain. Not a chain, there was a grocery store, like a local grocery store, called Super Mario. And they tried to claim copyright infringement. Yeah. I look it up. I know there are more details to it, but yeah, there was a thing for a bit.
Up and around like a true detective.
I can make that flaming loop. I'm better than some elephant. Ooh, I can get up there. Aha. They sued Pal World because they dared to be popular enough to actually put a dent in their bottom line profits with Scarlet Violet. Yeah, and you can actually see that too. Because there are other there are other things that are like Pokemon clones that they didn't go after because they didn't do well enough. Honestly, for me, that should always be a disqualifier for, like, copyright. If you're only going after the popular one and not all the other ones, I mean, like, there's an obvious, like, bias there. Then again, I also think copyright should not last anywhere near as long as it does. I think, personally, if I had to give a number, currently it's like 90 or 95 years in the US. I say 20 to 30 years should be the maximum, possibly only a decade. If you have not done anything new that would make a difference for a character, right? Like how just because Superman is in the public domain doesn't mean you have flying Superman or heat ray Superman yet. But if you have not done anything inventive or interesting with your character in over a decade, that would actually, like, impact the way they are perceived or written, and you're still cashing in on it, at that point you've made a shit ton of money. And there is, even when, because the thing for me is brand name versus, like, you know, non-brand name, right? Like food and stuff. There is kind of a premium for brand names. When we see the Nintendo logo on a Pokemon game, despite everything for some reason, we expect more, right? Even if they don't give us more, we expect more from them. Because they are a big company with lots of money, and we assume they're going to try and put some actual, you know, value into their product. They don't, but, you know, we try and expect it from them. And I feel like after a decade, maybe 1 or 2 decades, 3 at the most, if you are just, like, if the only reason people are choosing your franchise that you're still pumping out stuff for over the knockoff version, or over, like, you know, the other, like, if you're still having to, like, remaster the one game you did well to make money, maybe your studio should, like, try making something else. Like, I'm imagining, like, Dead Space, for example, right? Because Dead Space has been around for about a decade, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it came out, like, in the mid-2010s, so it's, like, the remaster came out about a decade after, I believe. And, right, where am I supposed to be going here? I'm kind of going in circles again. Ah, here we are. And EA released a remaster. Now, apparently we're not getting Dead Space 2 from what I've heard, which kind of sucks. Oh shit, the floor is lava! Ah! Nah, I mean, look at Mario Kart, Mario World Odyssey. This is the risk takers. See, but that's the thing, though. If you say, oh, look at Mario World Odyssey, yeah. Well, imagine if Nintendo only had 30 years, right? If they only had, like, a 30-year copyright, and their copyright on Mario was, like, extended, it's, like, gone now. Mario's actually an example of, like, how companies could functionally still have copyright and still make stuff that is, like, sellable, that only they can sell, without having to, like, hold their copyright over everyone's head, right? Because if you look at Mario Odyssey, and actually the Mario franchise in general, Mario does a weirdly good job of staying relevant and fresh. Basically every Mario game introduces some kind of unique, like, side boss, or some, like, assistant character and gimmick. You know, you have the hat in Mario Odyssey, you have the you have, like, the Star Child in what was it? Mario Galaxy, you had Star Child. In Mario Sunshine, you had the Flood. Each time you make a game, those parts would still be copyrightable, so people can't copy the unique gimmicks. If you're still throwing cool, unique gimmicks into your games, you will still have it. Look at Zelda Breath of the Wild. They had all, like, yeah, Link is there, but Link is always there. He's generic hero man anyway. You know, Link is literally generic hero. Like, of 1,000 Faces fame, you know? Full-on hero's journey. You could replace him with basically anything. It's the world that makes it interesting. It's the hero versus the evil Demon King to save the princess. It's literally designed to be generic and flexible. All gaming philosophy, bless them. Not compete Pete, really. They're doing their own thing, and some part is X that uses their gatekeeping, only to extend. Yeah, well, and again, I think Mario and Zelda are examples of how they can achieve that old philosophy while still making it fresh, whereas Pokemon is an example of a franchise that has fully stagnated. Mario, weirdly enough, despite the moments where it does stagnate on occasion, generally has periods of, like, big revival energy, right? Mario and Zelda have gone through phases of, oh, they're getting a bit generic. Here's a fresh topic that's gonna really reinvent the whole formula. You know, Mario's done it several times with, you know, even like Mario RPG or Paper Mario: A Thousand Year Door. Yeah, eventually the Paper Mario series became a bit stale. But they had a cool run for a while, didn't they? Whereas Pokemon, I mean, what? They've had side games, but that didn't really, like, continue on that much. They had Gale of Darkness with, like, and they had Gale of Darkness and Coliseum for, like, their Shadow Pokemon gimmick, but that didn't really stick around. They had the DS games, which really pushed the, you know, dual screen. They've had a few gimmicks with the Pokewalker, for example, or whatever, or the Dream stuff in Black and White and Heart Gold, respectively. But by the time Sun and Moon came around, it was just new Megaforms, alternate universe gimmicks that other stuff was doing at the time anyway. And it was just kind of meh. It's an animation of Pokemon. And I feel like the way that Nintendo treated Pokemon, right, where they were essentially trying to, like, gatekeep it, right, with their copyright to get Power World taken off shelf, to sue them, is why long-term copyright can be, like, a very harsh thing, because it encourages this kind of behavior, you know? It encourages this very sue everything that gets popular that's even remotely like our thing, so we don't have to compete with it. Make other people afraid to do things. Copyright the word Cataclysm, so that no one else will dare to use it in their games. Not because we even have the legal right to, even under this system, but because no one wants to deal with the fucking lawsuit. I mean, like, come on. I think Blizzard is by far the worst offender with the Cataclysm thing. Every time I remember that Blizzard has trademarked the word Cataclysm, I get physically ill. Because, like, even by the fucking biased rules we have towards copyright in the US, that should not have flown. It's a generic term that other games had used before them. And it's not even like other games, it should only even apply to their genre, even if it did rule, but you know Blizzard's gonna sue. Pokemon Peak to Pokemon Platinum for the main titles, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are actually in... Oh, it's Heart Gold and Soul Silver for the remakes. Yeah. Mystery Dungeon and Spores of Sky for the side games. Heart Gold, Soul Silver for the remake. Pokemon Platinum for the main titles. I actually do like Pokemon Black and White. They were the last Pokemon games I finished. However, Black and White 2 were kind of meh. And that was kind of the third game, and I was expecting, like... And that is, like, when they kind of started breaking a bit. Like, in Black and White, they actually had, like, the full Legendary set, but by the time you get to X and Y, they just never made Pokemon Z. Zygarde, how long did it... I forget, how long did it take for Zygarde to actually get released in a Pokemon game? I think it's been fairly recently, right, where you could finally, like, catch Zygarde. It was the Pokemon that you could only get by cheating for the longest time. Crazy ass man. Aim at the window frame. What am I supposed to be shooting? Am I supposed to, like, throw dynamite in there?
What's it gonna be, Ace?
What's it gonna be? Okay, let's throw some more dynamite. Cataclysm is a trademark. Copyright is trademark. Sorry, copyright trademark. That is also still stupid. The trademarking system is also still stupid. Damn it. I'm terrible at this little mini game.
What you gonna be, Ace?
But it is also an example of how, like, a lot of devs, a lot of big studios will attempt to legally block people from just, like, even remotely associating or trying to compete with other games. I think it's still an example of what I'm talking about, right? It's like companies that just using the threat of legal prosecution to stymie just like other things in general. Mostly, the reason the Cataclysm gets me too is because it also, like, somewhat impeded the remake or redistribution of older games. Right? Because it's not just new games that Cataclysm isn't able to be used with, it's older stuff. Like how there was that Homeworlds game, Homeworlds Cataclysm, which I really want to play. Ever since I watched that Mandalore video, I've been like, oh man, this looks so cool. Like, very Lovecraftian horror. The Beast is such a cool entity. This, like, bioorganic techno-plague that, like, assimilates living flesh into parts of the ship. Just seems so cool as a concept. I like it. And they had to rename it, what was it? Well, I forget what it was. When they re-released it, they literally had to rename the game because they couldn't sell it in the shop with Cataclysm without risking a lawsuit. Which is so dumb. Again, though, Nintendo wanted Expedition 33 style Pokemon. Game Freak claimed they're not capable. Fucking Sandpulse Interactive able to do it. It baffles me, though, right? Like how these gigantic studios seem incapable of doing the things that these little tiny studios can do. It's like, guys, just even if it's like the kind of thing throwing money at doesn't work, just like get your dev team to work on it. I mean, like, for all the shit I give them, Game Freak has some talented people working for them. I know that they've made non-Pokemon games. They have people who know how to make video games there. Most of their issues with Pokemon, I think, come down to just like the huge roster. Pokemon has kind of become a bit of a thorn in the side. Speaking of Palworld, we now have a definitive release date for version 1. I saw that announcement. I'm very excited for that. I feel like a lot of Pokemon's issues, though, come from the fact that its entire franchise was based on the whole collect 'em all thing, right? You know? And as a result, it's become this, like, giant monolith of a franchise where everyone's kind of expecting something from it. Some people want to be able to collect all the Pokemon. Some people want in-depth battle mechanics. Some people want cool storytelling. Some people want more Pokemon bonding stuff. Some people want contests to come back. Some people just want to see cool new legendaries. Some people want to see new regions with, like, cool new environment stuff. The Pokemon fanbase wants so many things from a game that I think it is a lot. Like, asking for, like, all of it in a game is a lot. And especially switching to 3D models because they couldn't just reuse the pixel art. That really hurt them, I think. The 3D model part kind of fucked Game Freak over a bit. I think they probably would have done better if they'd stuck with pixel art as opposed to 3D models, because those 3D models take so long to make. Especially, it's you know, like, they try and reuse them, but it's clear that system isn't quite working out the way they'd hope. Also, 3D models just take up a lot more space than pixel art. For a Pokemon game, right, where you need like a few frames for each Pokemon, as opposed to a full 3D model for each Pokemon. I think I spoke on that once. Game Freaks are little children in adults game. This is the reason for stagnation. Yeah. I feel like Game Freak is kind of fucked regardless because their fan base is so varied and large. I do think they should probably aim at making good games for kids as opposed to trying to, like, constantly appease their adult fandom, because their adult fandom is so spread out and so fragmented that, like, nothing they do is ever gonna make everyone happy. They just can't. The roster of Pokemon and the desires of the fan base are too widespread. I think they should focus on making solid, good games that accomplish solid tasks. One concept I did consider, and I usually hate this, like, so much, but one idea I did consider was the idea of a solid hub Pokemon game that all subsequent games act as, like, a standoff. Because, look, let's be real here. Nintendo's games... So the reason I originally discarded this is because I like physical games. But Nintendo has already done away with physical releases. And if we're gonna do away with physical releases, okay, if we're gonna get rid of physical releases, we might as well do some good with it, right? Here's my thought. You build a game, like a hub Pokemon game, and you release it for free on the Nintendo Store. I'm not talking about Pokemon Home. I mean a game where it's essentially like the Global Connect Trading Hub, but with maybe some extra features. And the way it works is you have a system where it can check for save files from other Pokemon games. And each other Pokemon game save file can act as a character selector in that game. Big amazing experience, because so many systems and ideas interacting with each other would make for one hell of a system eventually. Yeah. And the idea is basically you have Pokemon for from each of the games, right? So your like Legends game could enter the hub world, and you can like leave Pokemon in a storage on your console. You can back up the save file to an SD card, and other games can look at that save file to access it. That way, if there's ever a reason why that game, you know, for whatever reason you can't access the free one anymore, it's there. And if you want to store them on a global cloud thing, if you want a cloud save backup, fine, Nintendo, charge them for it, I guess, whatever. I don't like it, but you're going to do it regardless. I have no control over that. But the idea is basically, whenever you release a new game, you update it so it's compatible with the new Pokemon, and the other games can bring Pokemon in. And basically, you have the Pokemon 3D models, like the base 3D model. Maybe you can add some new textures, whatever, in the new games. But the base 3D models for all the Pokemon are stored in the free game. And whenever a new game comes out, you update the models, you update the compatibility with the save files, and you allow the games to act as trade between them. And you can even do cool things like bring in a single Pokemon to act as a starter, right? Like bring in a Pokemon that's under level 10 to act as your unique starter for this game. Because like there's no reason why you shouldn't allow multiple save files now. That would be cool. Not a bad idea, but even when they just make one game, listen to those fans, hear me out here, those demands would make one mega game for Pokemon, all from recycling, basically. Well, yeah, my point is, if you make the mega game like a hub for other games, okay, then there's no expectation that it has to be good on its own. Because the problem with one mega game is it would also have to be good enough as a game to sell as a game, if you're going to charge for it. But if you make it like a hub world, where it's just getting an update to make it compatible, and maybe getting like a mini game, or a contest system, or whatever, like an update with each generation of Pokemon, and it's this large game. The downsides of this are obviously every Pokemon game in the future, all their save files at least, would have to be compatible with this, and any new systems would have to be like cross-compatible. But I don't think that's insane. Like, older Pokemon games had systems like this when new mechanics were added. I forget what it was, but like there was some stat. I think it was either IVs or EVs that were added in Gen 3, I believe to say. And when you transferred a Pokemon from Gen 2 or 1 to Gen 3, they would gain secret stats. They would gain those stats, even though they weren't present in the old games. Yeah, as long as you made the data compatible. Now, I'm not sure how this... You would have to be very careful when making this. Because as someone who has actually like done some like light game design work, I will tell you, making a system that will be compatible with all the future bullshit you want to put into a game is a hell of a task. It is not easy. There's a reason Pokerust was also added in Gen 3. Exactly. But like making game files and systems that are compatible. Oh boy, oh boy. They are not the easiest. That is not the easiest thing in the world. It is an extremely difficult task that a lot of people severely underestimate. I understand it would be a monumental, undertaking. But if they did it right, they would get what they wanted. And the cool thing with this is, you could have games like Legends Arceus, and you do the thing from Gen 2 to 3, where you generate the stats that aren't present in that game. So, like, for example, the, I think Arceus is missing things like abilities, I want to say, but, like, you could just have the Pokemon get them based on other factors when they're transferred to the main game. Based on, you know, what Pokemon it is, and and, you know, stuff like that. I think it could work. I genuinely think it could work really well if it was allowed to. I also don't think Game Freak is going to do it, because Nintendo doesn't seem to want to innovate with Pokemon. But if they did do this, and they got it right, which is a whole extra qualifier, right? Because it's not just doing it, you got to do it right, and it's not the kind of easy fix. This is actually a very hard fix I'm proposing. The reason I'm proposing it is because it seems like it would solve the problem long term.
What are you buying?
And you make it clear to people, right? You make it clear that this is the direction we're going with Pokemon, and then you commit to it. That's the other big thing. You've got to commit.
Tickets.
If you do this,
Tickets.
there's no take backsies. You know, no. Well, actually, 2 years down the line, we don't want to go in this direction anymore. You gotta commit for a while before you're gonna see the kind of returns where it's gonna be like really good. But I do think it'll kind of work. It would be a bit MMO-ish, which I know is not the thing everybody's a fan of, but it would still let you have the Pokemon games, right, as individual games, and you don't necessarily need to worry about having all the Pokemon be catchable in that
Gonna
region.
be, Ace.
You can also have one check for multiple separate incompatible files, though compatibility mainly with one flag content during games, you know what I mean? There are a few different ways you can do it. I'm not going to get into all the different ways you could do it, because there are 1,000. Doesn't innovate because they realize they don't have to with Pokemon. People will buy it regardless of
What are
quality.
you buying?
They do to an extent. They do realize that. Alright, where am I supposed to go here? Reward shop. I'm trying to find the tickets. Because I need to get more tickets to go somewhere, but I don't know where any other tickets are. Ow. I just keep setting myself on fire. Wasting armor.
What's it gonna be, Ace?
Nope. Screaming at Nintendo for the lack of quality, but they still open their wallets regardless. Yeah.
Tickets here, tickets.
It's why I put a foot down with the Switch 2. And it's gonna be way harder on me, don't get me wrong. Switch 2 is gonna test me. It wasn't gonna test me originally, but it will now. Secret found? What's secret? I just went in a room, there was nothing in here. Because apparently Duskbloods, which I think the people screaming are different than those people paying. Yeah, they are. They're two different crowds. Also, Nintendo does still primarily aim their games at kids, which I do think is a good thing. Their games are inherently aimed at kids for the most part. Yes, there is some nostalgia baiting, I'm not going to deny that. But they do mostly aim their games at a child audience, right? With, like, profanity filters and, like... They've never really... Like, yes, they've done a Gardevoir plush. You know the one. But, like, let's be real. Regardless of how aware they are over shit, they still mostly aim their games at kids. Sometimes. Some are going to pay regardless. Yeah. Man, if only people would not pay money to shitty companies, the world would be a better place. I could do better with that too. Like, I should probably be doing better with that. There are definitely squirrels in history. I guess the Mayans were squirrels, everybody. Though I will say the Mayans being squirrels is kind of cute. Man, it says find reach the meeting spot, get more tickets, and win more prizes. All right, I'm gonna try and find the meeting spot. Let me go try and find that meeting spot. I feel like I probably missed a ticket somewhere and that's impeding me. Do 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 do. But no, man. If only we would all just like stop paying money to shitty companies, the world would be so much better. But that's just like people will continue to buy shit. I mean, like, think about it this way. EA and Call of Duty, EA still sells, yearly remixes of sports games. Regardless of your opinions on EA or sports games, you have to admit that, like, buying it yearly is kinda nuts. And that's one of the genres where, like, yearly almost makes sense. Because new players, right? But even there, it's just gotten bad. And they still do it. Because EA has the licenses for their favorite players, and they want to see their favorite players on the field, passing the soccer ball. Plenty of people with the mindset of, man, just want to catch my Pokemons. That's all I want to get. Stop being mean to it, but with Frittata was actually calling out, I think, butchering. Well, and, like, there's also just, like, a sort of complacency a lot of people have, which I don't even, like, think is necessarily a bad thing for them. They don't want everything constantly changing on them, regardless of whether or not it's a healthy mentality long term. It is something a lot of people have. Like, a lot of people will keep their passwords very simple and not change them at all, even when they get data breaches. I keep mine in, like, a password manager, and I regularly, like, I will sometimes, like, go around and be like, alright, what's, like, you know, every 6 months or so, be like, okay, what passwords have been leaked? What have I gotten alerts for? Alright, just tell me what I need to do, bitch! Where are the tickets? The tickets guy. Tickets, please. Tickets, please. I can't skip ahead. Alright, there's a secret. Is there something in here? Or it's the baseball card. I'm almost the opposite. I give Nintendo almost none of my money, and I'm pretty okay with them. Yeah. Well, because I've become a similar way with Nintendo. I buy the games that I think are going to be good, or the games that I think they had put effort into, and I don't do with their shitty business practices. Like, I don't have a Switch online subscription anymore. I used to when I played the Switch a lot more regularly, but I don't anymore. So I don't. I also didn't buy the Switch 2. And even though Kirby Air Riders is going to be there, and even though From Software is releasing Dust Bloods, I found out recently Dust Bloods is apparently not going to be as co-op focused as we originally thought. It's going to actually have a single-player focused game. Dust Bloods is going to be a real test of my willpower, and I need to stay strong and not give Nintendo money for a Switch 2 just for one game. I need to be better than that. I need to set an example and not be a hypocrite. I understand, like, being a hypocrite happens, but, like, I need to not do it. I need to be stronger than this. See, I think the 3DS was actually, ironically, I don't think the 3DS was good because of the 3DS. I liked it because it gave a joystick. It was one of, like, it and the PSP were, like, the two early handhelds that had joysticks. And the 3DS joystick was actually really good. I actually prefer playing DS games on the 3DS. I'm gonna be honest about that.
Tickets here, tickets.
How do I freaking get tickets? You keep shouting tickets, man, and I'm just
What
like,
are you buying?
what am I buying? What are you talking about? Drives me insane. I don't know where the tickets are, and I am so confused. Did I, like, soft lock myself here? Oh my god, there's a ladder. Okay, finally, did I find the way forward? Please tell me this is the way forward. Please. Just another baseball card. Unless Nintendo is shitty on its own, they mostly keep shareholders away, I think. There's shittiness and there are benefits in that. Well, they're a Japanese company. Japanese companies are messed up in different ways. Look it up. There are other problems. They tend to have different issues than a lot of American companies. And you can see this with Sony, too, to an extent. Although Sony of America also has a lot of influence, so, you know, they have their own... I'm not going to generalize it. There's other stuff going on. But it is true that American and Japanese companies have a bit of, like, different issues or different shittiness. I prefer DS Lite because it has backwards compatibility with Game Boy Advance. I do like having backwards compatibility with Game Boy. Although nowadays when I play Game Boy games, I generally do it on my PC because I have something that can read the cartridges for the PC, and it lets me use save states, which are really nice. Alright, so I have no idea where I'm going here. I've tried going back, but I can't go back. We need to play more games to get the tickets, but... blow up everything and see if we can find something? I can't... Doesn't seem like that works. Sony moved HQ to California, the company was doomed. Look, it's not like they didn't have problems. They have different problems. I mean, look at manga working. Look at animation working conditions in Japan. They're kind of fucking hellish. They have their own. They're fucked up. They're fucked up in different ways. They have different problems. Invisible walls everywhere. I fucking swear. Okay, so we can't get tickets in there. We can't go in there. I'm trying to like narrow things down now. I can't go back in this room. I'm assuming I can't talk to any of these people, right?
Mamma mia! I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Money bags. Konami, Nintendo, even Sega at one point. That's just gaming. Yeah. Oh, I know very well Jab County's going to be next up. Blue Lagoon didn't have to tell me. I know. Yeah. I feel like I have to say this stuff though, because I've gotten pushback from people whenever I mention like other countries. Like I shit talk the U.S. and I mention other countries. I'm like, they have their own separate issues. I will talk about them a separate time. Like just because another company has different, like also, like just because other countries are also fucked up doesn't mean it's okay the U.S. is fucked up. I've heard that argument a while before. Like I remember talking with someone. They're like, yeah, but other countries have their own shitty capitalist issues. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't make it okay. It makes them all bad. It doesn't make any one of them good. I have legitimately talked to people like that, though. Oh, man.
Tickets! Tickets here, tickets!
Tickets here, tickets. Yeah, I hear you saying tickets. And I can't buy tickets from you, so stop saying it.
What's it gonna be, Ace? What are you buying?
Nothing, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna have to look this up, because I have no idea which way I'm supposed to be going at this point. It all points here, right? It doesn't make it okay. It makes it make it okay indeed. Yeah. Because like again, I get it. I shit talk the US and a lot of US companies sometimes. Might have developed learned helplessness. Oh my gods, yeah. Like actually just today I was talking with someone and they were talking about how they keep a physical password book, but they always have to like write it down and they have to go grab it whenever they do a password. I'm like, get a password manager. You can even get ones that are like work on multiple devices that are free and are encrypted and they're very safe. And you can generate passwords and they're like, yeah, but sometimes when I like make a new password and ask me to update and I hit the update button on those, it doesn't do it. And I'm like, but you can get one that has an app on your phone and you can check if it doesn't do it. And you can like, you know, if you're doing a password generation, copy it beforehand. If capitalism is evil, no matter what, where, why even try? Yeah, exactly. Mouse PI for hire. It all points here, right? I'm gonna keep the music going. And they were like, yeah, but it's like, yeah, that takes a while. And I'm like, it's like 5 seconds. And it would make your passwords more secure. And they're like, eh. It's like, I can point you to a free one. I can point you to a free one. You can do this. I can set it up for you. And they're like, eh, no. I'm gonna stick with the password book. But you were just complaining about how it's bad. And I'm like, and she's like, and they're like, yeah, but like, you know, your method like would take some time. It might not work 100% of the time. Your system doesn't work at all, really. Ah! It makes me go crazy. It makes me go crazy. It makes me go crazy. And I'm just like, there are solutions sometimes. And I'll talk with people and they'll be like, yeah, but that takes effort. And it feels like a joke, right? It feels like a fucking parody. Like some kind of like horrible comedy movie. Where everybody is just like, you know, like ignoring the asteroid coming down. And playing to hear themselves talk, nothing more. See, that's why I want solutions. I try and propose things. When I complain about shit, I try and propose shit. Like, when I complain about copyright law, I'm like, we should make copyright actually only be 30 years. We should do that. We should just change it back. That is something we could do. And I've spoken to it with other people, and if there was a bill proposed to reduce copyright, I would vote for it. Honestly, I probably should write to my senators and be like, hey, copyright is shit. You guys should try proposing a bill that will reduce copyright to 30 years. But, like, I've also just, I know that there's a solution. We undo the fucking law. But there's not a lot of public support for that. There's, fortunately, a lot of public support for not increasing it, which is good. Alright, get more tickets. It's called the Play and Spray game. You need to destroy bottles with your gun. And the Watch It Explode game. And then the balloon. After you've done that, head it to it, interact with the hot pepper power-up. Oh, okay, we have to interact with the power-up. Oh, okay. Alright, whatever. Gotcha. I think you need to discuss rhetoric with me.
Remember to use both barrels.
I probably do. I'm not the best at rhetoric. I'm not the best at convincing other people. Mostly because I'm the kind of person who, if I'm going to make an argument, would rather, like... You know, I constantly make qualifiers, like, I'm not entirely remembering this at the moment. I remember these details, but please look this up. Because I don't have all the facts always remembered in my head. And I'm not good at concisely, like, putting everything down without them. Actually, the other day, I was talking with a family member, who I'm not going to name, formulate the argument to make it applicable to most people's lives. Yeah. Actually, the other day, I was talking with my uncle and my dad, and a family member and my dad, and some, you know, some other family members. We were having a conversation, a bit of a debate, really, about transportation, right, in the U.S. And we were talking, and they were like, yeah, but nobody wants to ride the bus. And I'm like, yeah, the bus, one of my family members was like, the bus is terrible, nobody wants to ride the bus. And I'm like, I mean, part of the reason, never say you could be wrong, that's the first side of defeat. The bus is, the reason people don't want to ride the bus is that, A, it doesn't come around often. Like, it only comes around about once an hour in Baton Rouge. It doesn't go everywhere. And it stops running at like 9 o'clock is like its last run. So if you're out late to dinner or to a movie, you can't take the bus back home. Even if you're not out past 12, like, you can't take the bus back home.
Detective Jack Settler.
Who the
I was
fuck are
told
you?
you might interfere.
You just blew up half my
And he was like,
caseload, so
yeah, but, you know,
I might
we don't
interfere.
need to improve the bus. I mean, like, we
Very
just do
well.
things differently here. And I
I'll
was
keep
like,
this free.
but there are, like, objectively better things we can do
But the clock's
to improve the lives of people who do take transportation. And just because you don't use the bus doesn't mean that other people won't. And there's bonus to you, because if less people are driving, then there's less traffic. And if you like driving, then that's just better, right? Don't you want less cars in your way? And he was just like, I don't think we need to spend the money on that. And I was like, what the fuck? You don't even... I just explained why it's good for you. And he was just like, yeah, it's just the way it is here. God, if there's ever an excuse I hate, it's just the way it's always been. I don't think I've ever heard an excuse I hate more than that. Like, there are things that might be, like, dumber, but the way it's all, they don't use the bus yet. Exactly. They don't use the bus yet, but they could. And, like, one of the reasons my dad brought up was, well, yeah, but some people can't, like, afford to get sweaty before work, because he works at the Capitol during the summers. He actually goes by the Capitol. He works in law, so he actually goes by the Capitol building, and he has to be in, like, a suit and tie. Now, granted, I've seen people, I actually have seen people on, like, scooters and bikes in suits. But he does make a good point. In the summer, some people might not be
Right
comfortable
there, Mr. Tesla.
riding a bike in the heat
We'll
in a
have
suit.
to finish this another
That's not
day.
all people.
I'm cash
You
in
can
hand,
change in a
hourly,
towel
and my time's
and bring
up.
your spare change of clothes with you,
Gotta
so
hurry
that's
before
solved.
my
You know,
bookkeeper
there are
clocks
wipes for like
off.
wiping off sweat. You
Guys
can get
obsessed
actually
with
very
westerns
clean in like
and
a few
the-
minutes. I do it at
Now
work all the
forget it.
time.
Not
I
your
have a towel
problem.
at
Wait,
work that I
who hired
restock.
you?
I'm not your
Like every
enemy
other
for
day or
now.
so during the summer. I
Don't
bring a towel with
mistake
me,
me for a
and I'll leave it
friend.
there for an extra day, and then I'll use some
Ciao.
wipes. You know, some
A
wipes,
hitman
like
with a
deodorized
bookkeeper
wipes to wipe off.
who has a
Here we are just
Westerns
planning around
obsession.
bus hour.
This day just kept
I
getting
actually,
wilder.
you know what? His responses
snoop
actually made
around
me
the
look into the
Tinsel's
system a bit
backlot
more because I
later.
want to
For
verify
now,
my information.
Let's see what's
And
left
I was
of my
actually visibly
suspect.
upset because I realized
That
there actually
is
is a route
weird
I could
looking.
take from my work.
What is
Not
this
from the
even
house, but from
for?
my work to near Little
All
Wars,
right,
where I go from
boys,
the card
you're free to
shop.
go.
The problem is
girls?
the last
Final
bus route goes
My
from
apologies.
LSU to
And the
Bocage,
girls.
which is like the area it's going to.
Whack it there,
Around
man.
9
You
nine
really
o'clock
went
is
the
when it
extra
leaves
mile.
LSU's campus.
You're
and
making me
so
blush.
that means the
Still,
last run
he
would have
got
to be
away.
around like 8:45,
Like a little
which means I can't
coward.
really go to the
You'll
card
get it
shop
next
because that
time.
usually lasts
I believe
until like
in you.
10:30.
Totally. And
And
besides,
even if I do have a rare day
Yeah.
where it lasts till about
you
9,
deserve a prize.
the bus is already
prize.
left. I can't get back that way, and I'd
A
be
real
stranded.
one. Show him, Tommy.
Righty-o, Miss Jackie.
Ta-da!
To say it's just the way it always has been
ticket.
being true. Oh yeah, I brought that up.
A ticket.
That car, like, you know, car
Yeah,
companies
great.
bought up, you know,
For
the
a
street
show?
cars and tore them
No,
out
sir.
and
a boat
defunded the
ride.
buses
Big
in various
party,
cities.
Real
Class.
And when I brought that up, one of
Says so
them
right
said,
there on
"Well, we
the
didn't have a
ticket."
streetcar in
How
this
the hell did you
other
get
town."
this?
It's like,
I
yeah,
found it.
because it
in-
was
in
a
one of them
small
cops'
town back
pockets.
then.
He was,
Even if it might count as a city
uh,
now, it
relieved?
probably didn't back when they
Yeah,
were tearing up
relieved
fucking
of the burden.
streetcars.
So now
We're talking
it's
about
yours.
cities.
Well,
It was like complete
you, I
non-topic,
guess.
right?
Cool.
Like this
So,
random town we
two
grew up
for
in, or
us
this
now?
random area we grew up in
The
didn't have
secret
any,
show
or never
was
had
fresh
any.
out of
It's like,
secrets.
yeah, but I'm talking about what they
Finally, I
did when
could
they were
leave the
like,
clowns
I'm
to their
talking about what they did
circus
like ages
and
ago,
put
right?
the old brain back to work.
Honestly, I actually take people bringing up non-topics like that. For as frustrating as it is, I take it as a win. Terminal lack of imagination, yeah. I actually take it as a win. Because it means they couldn't think of an actual argument, and they had to randomly redirect the conversation. I count that as a victory. That's how I do it in my head. It helps me a bit. It helps me not be as frustrated when it happens. And then they're like, oh, it's like, oh, man. Because I brought up streetcar suburbs in response to one of them saying, you know, well, the U.S. was built for the car. And I'm like, no, we were bulldozed for the car. The U.S. was not built for the car. We
I was
bulldozed
right.
our cities
I
to make
do hate
room
the
for the car.
mines and mysteries.
That is something another
Especially
YouTuber
weird
said that I have taken to heart.
So,
The levels of copium are so hard.
Yes.
Oh, man. Actually, it was kind of
No,
funny
they're
too because he
deflated,
didn't
but
disagree
I
with me
got you a whole
fully.
pack from the
He
carnival.
sees
Happy
the
now,
area
kid?
we live in as different because I brought up New York,
don't
right,
call me
or like
tight.
Atlanta's metro system,
Soon I'll be as
and they
big
were
as
like,
Ken.
"Oh yeah, but that's
Yeah?
different."
Well, your
And I'm
mouth
like, "How?"
already is.
They're like, "It just
Excuse
is.
me?
Our city is different," and I'm like, "No." And then one of the other people in the conversation brought up DC and the taxi cabs, and for once we were on the same page. Because they're like, no, we're talking about, like, public transportation. Like, my uncle, who was doing this conversation, who made some of those comments, was like, no, we're talking about public transportation. That's just more cars. And I'm like, okay, so you do understand the conversation we're having. That's the thing. I feel like he actually understands it. He just does not understand
That's
why
for one
some
of those
people wouldn't want to
fancy
drive because he
steamboat
legitimately
cruises. Could be
understands.
worth a look.
Remember's never heard of
Getting
John
in, though,
Henry, has he?
That's the tricky part.
Well, and I also brought up that we used to be like a train capital of the world, right? We used to have like
Mob
more trains than
bookkeeper
anywhere
and a
else.
cowboy
To the point where we
obsession,
built
huh?
too many train
I
tracks,
know
and they were like,
just the
yeah, but
kind
the
of
average
saloon
person
he
didn't use
crawled
them to
into.
like commute to work. And I'm like, do you guys think that like office jobs or like people living in other cities commuting to work only started in like the 1920s? Like, what are you talking about? Like, holy shit. And they were like, yeah, but the average person did. And I'm like, bud, you're a doctor.
Of course.
You have like
The old
upper
nut
level
house is
income.
pressed.
You are not
Ain't
the
the
average
singest
person
spot
who had to
on that,
walk
but
halfway
I
across
got-
the city to get to their factory job. If you had lived back then in an equivocal social level, you were gonna be the guy who had his like private fucking like, you know, chauffeur.
Other parties
You were a goddamn doctor. Like, he was bringing up how like the average person wouldn't do that. I'm like,
Big mouse party
right,
for life.
but like, A, it's become more affordable, and B, you probably would have before the car as a doctor. You probably were socially
Oh, no.
like stable
Not
enough to
here.
live
Not
away.
in a million years.
Oh, fuck this asshole.
Yeah, get out of here.
We just could
Phil
walk up
Short.
and punch the man. Privilege is invisible to those who have it.
You know-
Absolutely.
Always making promises
It really is.
and never
And the
showing
thing
up.
is, he's
Yeah,
intelligent
something like
enough
that.
to understand the
He's
problem.
probably up to his whiskers.
But he
in
doesn't want the
handshakes and
solution.
empty
Like,
promises.
That's something I've come to realize. There are a lot of people
Yeah,
who
well,
understand but do not
he's
care.
never around
Or like
anyway.
are okay with it being
Think
fucked
you
up.
could call him?
For
You
example,
don't
he
like Karen
understood
and Uncle
that
Pete,
adding more
Kara.
lanes doesn't fix traffic.
Maybe he'll
And that
actually
traffic
pick
is
up.
just getting worse and worse.
Wouldn't
And we
bet
can't
on
just
it.
keep adding more lanes.
Oh.
He's okay
Tell you
with
what,
highways.
Here's a nickel.
Curving
Go see
around
Uncle
cities.
John,
He's actually
grab
kind of okay with
yourself a
that.
soda. And if I hear from your old man,
But they don't want to hear the actual
you'll be the
solutions.
first to
Like,
know. All
when I
right.
talk about the car being a very
Alrighty-o.
inefficient form of
Thanks, Uncle
transport,
Jack.
they're like,
She'll
well, yeah, but
figure it
it's
out.
freedom. And I'm like,
Sooner or later.
not for somebody who doesn't drive. Like, do people talk about cars being freedom? And I'm like, fuck off. Cars are not. As someone who hated driving, I didn't, for reference, this is actually something I don't think I've mentioned before. I didn't get my license until I was like 21. I only got my license after I graduated college.
Oh, look
Or
who's
what? No,
back.
right before I
What
graduated
you
college,
went
because
off
I
to
commuted
yesterday?
to another
Just
city for my
following
last
some
year
leads
for
on
like one
Tinsel
class.
Avenue.
While going to a job.
I kind of wish I'd gone with you.
And I refused to drive
I
because
think
I
you
didn't
missed
want to
out on
drive.
something special.
Wasting my time
Bah.
staring at the front
The
of the
lights,
car,
the glam,
not
the
doing
smell of
anything while I wait for
genius in
traffic
the
to move
air,
doesn't seem
and
enjoyable
plenty
to
of
me.
fresh
It's also why
cheese
when I go to
up
visit
for
Coding
grabs, right?
Assembly like hours
Look,
away,
kiddo, the
70s and
Dream
80s propaganda,
Factory
or like
is still
50s
a
and 60s
factory.
propaganda,
It
honestly.
may look like they're creating whole worlds,
but,
in
like,
reality,
I take a
they're
Greyhound.
just shoveling that number.
And like everybody always is like, ugh.
I mean, if you're a
like, why'd you do that?
screenwriter,
Because I don't have to
sure,
like
maybe, I don't
sit in
know,
a
but the
scrunch car. I have
stars,
access to an easy
the
bathroom,
tinsel
and I can like just play
stars
video games
shining
instead of like
so
focusing on the
brightly
road.
above us like
Because it's like way more
space
enjoyable than
mice,
being in a
or
cramped
maybe
car because
some
there's actually more
distant
room.
gods,
It's actually kind of nice. Still don't have a
you know
license
what would
yet.
make my day?
Man, I wish I could get away with that.
Damn fine poster with an autograph
watched
from
Grease
some
and decided to
big
make their
celebrity.
personality.
I don't care who,
Ugh.
just something to brighten up
Yeah,
my
it's-
workshop. Please, please, please,
It's
please,
it's
please,
this
with
thing
honey
where like
infused
I
brie
didn't
on top.
drive.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
lot
sure.
more aware
But you do
of how
realize all
little
these
like
big shots
I
are
used to
just
have to
famous
ask
because they're
somebody
snorting
whenever
blue
I
cheese
need to
and
go
doing
anywhere
things
when I
you
was
wouldn't
home.
believe, right?
Because
Oh, quit
almost
being
nothing
so
around here.
negative,
And
Jack.
I learned
We all need to
workarounds.
escape
If I wanted to go grab a
sometimes, you
drink or a
know?
snack,
To get the
I would
hell
get on my
away from
bike
the
and
here
go
and
down to the
now.
convenience store.
Even if
It
it
was
is
a
just through a
pain.
screen,
I
they
hated
can
being
make
near all
us
the
feel
cars and was
like
driving way too fast
like
on this
all
like
right
street
with
routes
the
in our
world.
neighborhood. But I
Like
went
we-
there.
we're
I rode my bike all
Yeah,
the way
but I
past the
already
train
am
tracks to
home.
go grab lunch at Wahada a few times in the summers. And I would sit there and actually like have a meal and like not rush as much because I was, I was like working my bike ride off. I ride to work now. I've stopped driving aside from Little Wars and like one or two other things. I've even ridden back in the rain. Hell, I've even ridden when it like seems like it's about to rain once or twice in the morning. And I really just need to get some waterproof shoes that I can like swap, put on for like the bike ride there and just like be like, screw it. Because my secondary bag is like fully waterproof now. I think that's what's starting to tip me in the direction of, you know what, I'll just ride through the morning rain too. I was already riding through the back rain because I could cover things in like a little plastic bag and a plastic covering and just like power through. But now that my bag is like a water bag, it's like one of those roll up water bags I have attached to my the back like rack of my bike.
I know
So
that
everything I've tested it,
face.
everything is like very
You're
watertight in
onto
there.
something, aren't you?
I had a bit of
I
issues with
got
my
a lead.
previous bag, but
A
this new one,
promising
it's
one,
perfect.
just
My
doesn't
backpack
have
is
legs
waterproof.
yet.
I can just ride through the
Well,
rain. And I get home, take
Lay
a
it
shower,
on me,
good as new.
sport.
Word is
You know,
there's this fancy steamboat where those crusty lobbyist types gather to play Who Controls the World
It's
over
one of those
cocktails.
things where I've had to
reason
deal
think
with
all
not
the
being able to
cheese
go to the
strings
card
tied
shop
to the
without getting
shrew
somebody to
racket
drive me.
not on that
Or had to
deck.
like try
I've
and
even
get
got
an
a
Uber to
ticket.
go to a movie because nobody was around.
Pretty sure I'm not on the
And
guest
even
list,
though there was a car home, I couldn't drive it.
Let me
Right?
see that.
I've walked
I'll be.
to LSU's
I know
campus
this
from where I
party.
live.
I know the
Or
boat.
bike rided to like their
I
student
know
union
exactly where it
to just have
docks.
lunch.
Color
I wanted
me
to eat out that day
impressed and
when I was younger
suspicious.
during the summers.
Like really
I've
suspicious. You
done
sure
stuff
you're
like
not mixed
that.
up in this yourself,
And as a
Corny?
result, I have a
Oh,
lot more
please,
understanding
Jack.
of the limitations
I'm running
that
for
just
mayor,
not having
remember?
a sidewalk or not having a
I get invited
connection.
to all
When you
kinds
get
of
actual freedom,
hoity-toity
someone makes home
nonsense.
big drone or
I don't
hoverboard
even
fly
know
around, there's
RSVP to
1,000
half
laws
of them.
hindering and hindering.
Oh,
Shut
I
up,
usually
man.
just send a stand and
The really
Gotta
weird
keep
thing
my
is the
ear to
more
the
I've
good
ridden
ground.
around downtown,
But
the
I'm
more
not
I've
to
realized
step in
how
a pile
little
of
effort it
trouble
would
for
take to
fun.
make the world so much more
You
walkable.
know,
Like, the
don't
US has
let
a lot of
that
problems with, like, making things very
piece of
spread
the way
out.
you eat.
I'd
But
never.
here's the thing.
Makes the cheese taste
Even
funny.
with how spread out and how,
Anyway,
like, you know, many
whoever
zoning
uses
laws
a
conflict
swipe
with,
the
like,
front,
actually making things
and
walkable,
listen, I could
it
go
would be
into the
so
details. This
easy
thing's no
for me to
good
live
without a
most of my
proper
life with
referral.
only biking. If they made it a bit
But-
safer to bike ride on
Well, you
Brightside without
could
this, like,
go
they took away the
as
bike
my
lane and they made, like,
representative.
sidewalk only. It's this, like, very windy,
Two rats,
poorly maintained
one
sidewalk.
stone.
They clearly built it
What do you
without, like,
say?
planning it out, and so it just, like,
Words,
wraps
usually.
around very sharp turns, so it's very dangerous to bike ride on. You have to go really, really slow, which
just
hinders.
take the damn
There's
thing.
like a lot. There's occasionally people. It's very narrow.
Godspeed,
You know, basically not basically like a
Railroad
pity
cruise
bike.
in at
It's like a
about 2
pity
knots.
sidewalk, like a terribly maintained, like very damaged, very windy. Even though it doesn't need to be sidewalk, that's constantly barely missing low-hanging power lines. Like, I actually worry that I'm gonna get hit by like a power line when I go by occasionally, because power lines occasionally go down after a storm. I'm always worried. But like, even with that, if they would just connect one more sidewalk, I could get all the way to a dentist office and a grocery store and a bunch of shops and like a bunch of other places. And then if they added like 4 more blocks of sidewalk on top of, like, if they had like 5 blocks of sidewalk instead of 1 block, I could get all the way to CVS. I could get to a bunch of other side things. I could fully connect to a lot of LSU stuff. I could get all the way to a Walmart, a neighborhood Walmart, even though I don't like stopping at Walmart, and I don't think I've really gone to Walmart in a long time. You could have multiple grocery stores available by bike distance, easily walkable, if you just gave like 5 blocks of sidewalk. And yet the same city has the money to add an extra, like, offshoot lane from its highway on College, whose only purpose is to add an extra lane for people who are not turning right, but turning right and then immediately turning right on the next street. That's right, they add an entire offshoot for people who are turning right
Cheesy
immediately
mysteries
off
rule the headlines these days.
the highway. Like, people who are turning onto a different road 1 block down the road got their own separate segmented off highway lane. And it made traffic so much worse, because it actually cut off like a turn lane from other people, and so it made so there's no dedicated like turn lane for that, which was actually like a decent thing that helped reduce traffic there. They have money for all of that, but not for like 5 blocks of bike lane. Like 5 blocks. Weirdly enough, the downtown is actually doing a lot of stuff near where I live. Downtown actually is. They are working on several different, what the fuck? I know, right? I know. Yep. This is the priorities where we live. This is what they prioritize. It's fucked up. Yeah. And the thing is, there are so many like, and we have it pretty good, because downtown has been making it way more walkable. We have this like long levee pathway by the river that extends for miles. They built it years ago, and it's actually been maintained and like really good. They have like lights and everything lining it, so it's not even. They even have like street lights on it, so it's like very good. It's segmented away from the cars, but it's like a huge thing. Boomers are building their tomb. The boomers are
The
building their
job
tomb.
seemed easy. Find Sims, snap a pic.
That's actually something I've
Victory
thought
was
about. It's like,
practically in the air.
they're really gonna have a wake-up call near the end of their lives when they're no longer a dominant voting cohort. They're already not, but they're starting to enter a period where they're gonna need laws to like shore up social security or whatever, and they're no longer a dominant massive voting cohort because like their age demographic, just due to the way that, you know, age is attrition, right? Boomers no longer have the age, the demographic pull to just force through whatever they need.
What a lovely
So
breeze.
they're gonna have a wake up call. I think it's gonna suck. But no. I do think downtown has actually been improving a lot. Why can't Valve? They're making money off pleasing users and benefiting from. Gabe is president of the world. See, the thing is, Gabe knows what he wants to do. Gabe gets. Gabe understands what he wants to do.
Mind taking a picture of us, mister? Just got married, see? I didn't have the money for a wedding, and well, you know, work.
They can self-reflect.
All right, sure.
They encase themselves in cement and wonder where the community went. Oh my gods, yeah. There's no trust anymore. It's all the internet. No. No.
Here you go.
Oh, you betcha. Long
but,
way from home, traveling by boat.
But no, I
And making a buck along
genuinely
the way.
think there are plenty of
Nearage
people
is
making
fine,
good work.
but,
Downtown
bread on
has
the
so
table's
many.
much better.
I was shocked actually the other day.
Thanks for
I
the
had
photo,
to.
mister.
I
Here's
drove
our
to work
address.
because
Now,
I was
back
going to
work,
the car
honey.
shop afterwards, and it saves on gas if I just go from work 'cause it's a little bit closer. It means I also can avoid college, which is like a nightmare of just sitting in traffic. So it's better on me if I just take my car to work and then go straight to Little Wars from there. So I do that like on a few Wednesdays. It's like the one time I drive most weeks. It's like go to the car shop. So, and I was going down this side street, and I was like, oh my god, they're building like a middle lane, and I don't know for sure. I need to look this up. I think I saw tram tracks. I think I saw a center area with like a raised platform, and it looked like they were installing the beginnings of tram tracks. There were these little like box stations too that look like they're supposed to be hooking into like a power system. I think they might be installing a tram line downtown. I don't quote me on that. I need to double check it because that's just what it looked like, and I don't know for sure. But holy shit, I think they are actually installing a tram line downtown. And if that happens, I think I'm gonna cry. Which is sad, because other countries have, like, plenty of those, but, like, actually having a tram line installed would be such a big deal.
Marsha,
It
where
would
the
be
hell's
such
the
a
damn
huge
car?
deal.
I left it on the fridge, you absolute lemming.
Great.
Imagine if we actually had a tram. Yes, that is the kind of thing that makes, like, us...
God, please.
God.
You could be the Shrew Pope for all I care. No card,
Shrew
no
Pope.
entry.
Great. Guess I gotta track down that
The Shrew
pass.
Pope. I don't know who is responsible for that, because a lot of the people making decisions are jackasses. Probably local government stuff. Like, local government is where you make the changes, people. But no, it's like really cool. They are installing like very clear bike lanes. They're not segmented by a curb, which I really wish they had like a physical barrier separating you from the cars for added safety. But they have like clearly defined bike lanes. They're painted. They're making it clearer. They're trying to make downtown more walkable and safe, which I am so on board with. You do not understand just how happy it makes me. And as someone who has like used to like for a brief while drove a bit downtown, I can say that I engage a lot more with the world when I'm not in a car. I stop by the library. I stop by local restaurants. I'm a bit antisocial. I wave to people. I've caught myself waving and saying hi to people as they pass me on the levee. The fuck? I noticed myself doing it earlier today, actually, on my way back home. I waved to somebody, and I was like, wait, did I just wave to someone? The fuck? It was such a surreal moment for me, because I generally consider myself somewhat antisocial. Because I am the kind of person who will lock myself in my room, like, willingly for long periods of time and not talk to anyone. I do enjoy solitude, and I am a bit introverted. But, like...
I left it on the fridge, you absolute lemming.
But man, there was that moment when I was just like, yep. You actually see ads in store window. Ads that don't suck.
Pre-party
Yeah.
happening at the cigar lounge.
There's actually this po' boy place run by this guy who's like retired. He essentially runs this place. Not even to like make a ton of money, just because he enjoys like running the po' boy shop. He does breakfast. I learned their omelets are good. I walk around to go to places. Like if I don't, every once in a while I won't bring a lunch and I'll walk to some place around downtown. They'll be like, oh, what's around here? Oh, that new area opened up.
Real
We've got some more stuff.
technological marvel.
Yeah,
we got
I'll
here.
check out that place. Seems like good. I'll try out their food. I go by this little Chinese place, you know, just walk down there. You can walk to restaurants. You don't need to hop in your AC car. And you need to understand, the reason I find it ridiculous that other people can't do it is because this is the kind of thing I would object to. I'm the kind of person who starts sweating when it gets over 72 degrees, right? I am an indoor dragon. I do not handle the outdoors well. I complain about bug bites and heat, and I loathe being sweaty and hot. But you know what? It just feels nicer. it just feels nicer riding my bike. And just going that way. It has been a surreal, like, year and a half since I started bike riding basically full-time to work.
It's a hell of a lot of blue cheese in one
It's
place.
definitely become my, like, de facto go-to thing. Actually, an uncle of mine was asking me the other day, because he's actually decided that he's going to start bike riding to work. A different uncle than the one I was talking about earlier. So, I got to inform him, like, hey, you know, if you're getting an electric bike, I recommend getting one that's sold at a bike shop near you, because that way they'll have parts. That was a mistake I made. I also recommend getting a brand that has, like, you know, you've done some research on them. You make sure that they have a decent warranty, that other people back, that they actually honor, you know, and make sure that they sell individual parts. I think cars are an Afandi ploy to kill people with antisocial banes. That would make a really good plot for Werewolf. The Glasswalkers are trying to build, like, actually good infrastructure. You prefer solitude, but none can withstand it. The Guildmaster. I mean, I've had people tell me I shouldn't bike ride at night because it's scary and you can get hurt. And I'm like, lady, there are people around downtown. Like, there are people walking around downtown at night. There are people, like, coming out of bars partying till, like, 2 a.m. You know, like, people are alive and active downtown. The lights are just on. Like, there's street lights and business lights and a lot of doors just hanging open with people inside them that you can visibly hear. How the fuck are you this scared of other people? I mean, I'm holding my wine glass, my cheese glass. Is this like carbonated? Wait, is this carbonated cheese? How the fuck do you carbonate cheese? There are those who prefer solitude, but none can withstand it. Guildmaster Makarov to Gagio after the destruction of his guild. Oh, damn. Fairy Tale quote coming in for the kill. Nice. See, Fairy Tale, for all its flaws, Fairy Tale had some killer lines. Fairy Tale had some killer lines when you actually break it down. It's not a perfect show, but damn, it does have some good lines every once in a while.
You don't remember?
No.
Yeah, okay. Here.
You don't remember me. No, I don't. Do I look like I pay attention? Cool, good. You won't remember me not having a card. Scary. For Dragon, I am in no danger. I am the danger. I am the danger.
Damn it!
One of the A2...
Guess there won't be no tax evasion candle blowing business today.
My perception.
Sarge is gonna kill me.
Alright. Hey, bud. How you been? Alright, so you're blocking the way with the giant cake. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Alright, I've got to find, like, a way around. Here we are. Well, if I like to keep holding this wine glass, this is like... It's like the Assassin's Creed thing, right? Where you're trying to blend in, and so you just, like, follow some monks and, like, pretend you're one of them. I'm like, oh, don't look at me. I'm hidden as long as I hold this martini glass. Like Ezio sitting on a bench. Despite the fact he's in full assassin attire. Basically, even if you lock yourself away 99% of the time, you'll still require that 1%. And again, for me, it's like, if I can do this as an antisocial guy, if someone as antisocial as me can handle, like, fucking walking around other people, fucking what's your excuse? What is your fucking excuse? Hitman at home. Let's go on to more pleasant topics. I mean, there was a bit, though it did have a happy end, right? Where we got, like, they are building some really good walkable infrastructure downtown, which is just so exciting. But let's talk about some happier things. So, I am going to be working on finishing up the short for Omens of Chaos. I've also figured out what my, I've also figured out what I'm going to do for a thumbnail for the Occultist review, by the way. So I can't... What direction am I supposed to be heading here? Can't go there. Huh. Get close to Captain Simmons. But no. So I figured out what my art is going to be for my thumbnail art is going to be for the Occultist review. I'm going to be doing... basically, I'm going to have the dragon looking through, like, the weird spyglass thing, right? and he's going to be like examining the book, and then I'm gonna have like a shadowy Lovecraft entity like hovering right behind me. It's kind of the vibe I want to go for. You know, like instead of a magnifying glass, I'm using the little spyglass tooth thing, the little glass tooth that he looks through constantly. Also, while I was going through footage and trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about, I remembered that fucking makeup puzzle. Gods, I think the puzzles in Occultist were generally pretty good. But damn it, that makeup puzzle did not suck. This is clearly a destructible box, I feel like. I think it's destructible. The flickering light, of course. So yeah, look forward to both of those. I'm also going, again, the dragon blood thing, obviously have to do. Amazing Digital Circus and the Backrooms are both things I'm interested in reviewing or talking about, so we'll see what happens with those. I'm going to try and get something for the Digital Circus when that comes out, although I think I need to hurry. That might end up being a short and coming out before Occultist, just because I wanted to try and come out with Amazing Digital Circus release date. I might need to do that soon, though, because I think that's all. I think I only have like one more week, because I think it's going to come out next week, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, where am I supposed to go? This game, I swear, it's high action for a lot of it, and then every once in a while it'll just like stop me in my tracks. Door opens from the other side. I can't use my freaking weapons. I can't talk with these guys. It wants me to go this way. Ah! It wants me to go this way, but it won't let me, like, use a weapon on these boxes. Game, be clearer. I don't know what you want from me. Okay, so I can't do anything about that. I need to figure out something else. Let's see. Coming on this side. I still stand by places in this world and make for a killer Zod map. Can't have this one without a maze section. Oh god. Okay, so you know I've been playing Marathon on my phone with that new. I have a new Bluetooth controller I got on my phone that's like very portable and compact and has like actual joysticks, so I can actually play some games. And I've been playing Marathon for a while now. I recently just rated past this level called Fire, Fire, Fire. Do I look like a Minotaur to you? Do I look like a Minotaur to you? No. Anyway, I made it past Fire, Fire, Fire today on my lunch break. I actually have learned some grenade hopping, used to find some secrets, get some extra ammo, that kind of thing. I've learned to only really use grenade hopping when there's like... The issue with grenade hopping is you kind of need to have a double health recharge station nearby in order to utilize it to its full potential. Alright. I'm up here. And I got to colony ship... what was it? What was it? God, I put it in the chat. Colony ship for sale cheap. Which, if you've ever watched the Marathon review by Mandalore, you will know is the level from hell. The devs actually apologized for. Yes, it is that bad. Apparently I'm gonna have to like mess with multiple platforms to form a bridge to kind of platform my way up without a jump button. And they have to be kind of very exact, but the buttons are super spread out and hard to remember their placement of, because you can't mark things on a map. So it's apparently like a nightmare to play. And it's... Wait, there's a hole there. Ooh, I think I found a way up. Alright, let's see here. I'm going through this way. Can't go there. Can't go there. No entry. Alright, so I have to go through here. I'm going to reload last save. I think there was some kind of mess up here. I think this is some kind of bug. I'm going to see if this is a bug. Reloading my previous save. Show the card to the bouncer.
You press.
Yeah?
Good. Listen, my wife's around here somewhere.
Okay.
Face deep in a bowl of blue cheese.
I will say this game's been pretty buggy. Anyway, I also have been like having a bad puzzle in mind because I got to the part in Occultist where like going to my footage, I'm like, oh yeah, that freaking makeup puzzle. Do you guys remember that from the stream when I was like having to put makeup on that corpse that was just like the other one? And I did it the same way with like minor differences like 3 times and it finally worked. It's for free, so I wonder why I'm still not trying it out. The whole series is free. Honestly, weirdly enough, if you have an iPhone, especially like a somewhat newish iPhone, like an iPhone 15, it's actually a pretty decent way to play games if you have a controller. Some games are like way cheaper on iOS. I haven't tried it. Look at this Sigma male. Yeah, I know, really. I mean, he's a Nazi. Like, he's automatically worthless and a fucking jackass. I mean, he's not a Nazi, but like, come on. Look at them. Look at this. They are mouse Nazis. Like, come on. Anyway. Can I take a barrel? No, I can't. Oh! Okay, I just figured. I didn't realize I could kick. I can't punch, so why would I assume I could kick? I don't know, game. You could have made it clear I could kick, but you didn't. Okay. I hate that. They didn't even bother explaining it. Anyway, I have been enjoying Marathon. I don't think I'll do a review on it. I might do a short about it, like how it's free and it plays really well on iOS, so if you want to play it, do it there. But I'm not going to do a full-on review. I feel like, especially as I've been playing it, Mandalore did a fantastic job, particularly with the first game. He skipped over a lot of story stuff, but like, man. I miss when games weren't political. Oh, God. People, I haven't run into too many people like that in real life. I know there are people who say that kind of stuff online, but I've actually never run into them. I don't think I've run into people like that in real life when I talk to people like in the card shop or whatever. Most of the people I talk to are just like...
not exactly my best angle.
Most of the people I talk to are just like, no, it's fine. Like, they don't really complain about that. Maybe I just hang out with good people. No, 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 no. You can play Control, though, for like $5. I haven't gotten it, but I actually might talk about Control before it comes out. Grab the iOS version, do some recording shots on it. It could be cool, because I could talk about how the iOS version performs, right? And be like, hey, if you want to catch up on the game, it's $5 on your phone if you have like a decent iPhone. I could also check if it's available on Androids. Honestly, I could see the phone becoming like a good portable console. It makes sense, right? Because like phones are becoming about as powerful as laptops were a few years ago. You already have one, might as well use it. Well, it does make me wonder if like the Switch is going to still have a place, because the Switch's whole thing is being a low-powered portable console. So like, if phones are about as powerful as the Switch, what's the Switch supposed to do? It even docks. Yeah, the iOS thing, they can even dock now. Like, you can, since it's USB-C, you can just plug it in via USB-C to an HDMI adapter, and it will just let you play it on your TV. So you can even dock your phone. And unlike the iPhone, it's compatible with, and unlike the Switch too, it's compatible with any HDMI USB-C dock you want. You don't have to use the specific Nintendo-approved one. People with bad friends in live chat. Oh my God, wait, I just realized. Oh no. I just realized something. iOS, I think iOS is less proprietary now than Nintendo. I think Apple is more user-friendly. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I just realized their USB-C port can plug in via HDMI, Nintendo's can't. Nintendo, you need the proprietary Nintendo one. Remember they blocked all the docks on the Switch too? Still though, I can understand despite being incorrect is what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I get what they're saying, but they often say it in bad faith. And even when they're saying it and like I see like, oh, you're talking about heavy-handing messaging? Like, just don't do things you think are heavy-handing. I get that. Like, I don't necessarily always want heavy-handed messages. I'd like them to be subtle and coherent. You know, like, actually making points. Sort of like how Deltora Quest is a very, like, a very nuanced and somewhat subtle takedown of, like, or, like, example of, like, we were talking about, right? Like, how it exemplifies the way that corruption can take root in even inherently good systems. Even when people are trying to not be assholes. Of course, Nintendo are control freaks. Yeah, but Apple are too. I'm surprised they're not bigger bastards. I mean, they're still bastards, right? Don't get me wrong. iOS is a very lockdown platform that doesn't let you sideload apps. But I'm surprised that they're, like, less bastardy than Nintendo. Then again, Apple at least got, like, forced to play nice back in, like, the 90s when they enforced when they used to enforce lawsuits, when they used to, like, hold companies responsible for monopolistic behavior. You know, back when Microsoft and Apple were having their big pissing contest over file standards and shit in the 90s and trying to, like, block all each other's apps from being utilized. And the courts were like, no, you can't stop them from making apps just because they're your competitor. Sorry. It's not how the system's gonna work, Apple. Nintendo never really had a moment like that, though, I think is the issue, right? Like, Nintendo never had, like, a big antitrust suit with them. They came in after Atari basically collapsed and had the entire market to themselves, and didn't really have, like, issues with competition, necessarily. EU regulating Apple smartphones. They aren't focused on consoles, really. Yeah. To an extent, I would rather them focus on... I know they could focus on both, but, like, if they're going to divide their time, at least they're focusing on, like, the most devices possible at the moment. You know, like, general computing. There's a photo I can take around here. Oh! Iwata had plenty of flaws, but the fact he was a gamer is what held Nintendo back from the final form we see today. That is also something Nintendo had going for it. A lot of the early Nintendo creators, especially like people like the creator of Pokemon, right, were people who were very passionate and loved video games as video games. I feel like a lot of like people who run these companies don't care much about video games. They just see it as a profit maker. And it can kind of distort their view of how things should be.
Where's the
or how things
perfect
should
spot
be.
for this shot?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Also, ironically, you know, that might end up being the better move long term if, like, phones end up basically becoming the portable consoles. Captain Sins and the Bits Mountain Party are in together.
The hell was that?
Ah, crap. Forgot about the damn flash.
You forgot you have a flash camera?
Well. Look who washed up, huh? I remember you, Pepper. MPD's little shoeshine star.
You.
Fuck up.
You remember me?
That wasn't a compliment. Now, you haven't just ruined my day. You've made a mess I'll be cleaning up for weeks. That won't do.
Ah.
Damn right it won't, because your little trafficking
side
side hustle
hustle
ends here, Captain.
I'm
burning it all down.
Ha! Good
On
thing
RAM
we're
and memory
moored
device,
on the
all stuff
river.
related to data storage and internet
Now,
access, because you are potentially...
die.
So we're gonna tax you kind of logic? Wow, fucking coward. You're gonna die, and I'm gonna run away, because I'm a coward. Big Mouse Party, man. So fucking big and strong. He needs his buddies to do his dirty work for him. Bang! Gotcha. Haha. Whoa! Asshole! Got your friend. Head exploded. It's a whole system. Credits for sales goes to marketers, in turn get promotions instead. People who make their games. Marketers are putting decision making roles. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, the sad thing is, like, it's been evidence that if they just let the designers do their fucking job, like, most of the time that works out. Like, look at all the studios right now that are being started by developing groups. Like, groups of developers who are just sick of working at these giant companies. They go off and they make stuff like, you know, goddamn Expedition 33. Expedition 33 didn't need an EA marketing team telling them that turn-based games are totally blasé, and they need to add in microtransaction skins to make the game profitable. So maybe bad games. Get wrecked. Come on. There we go. Decision, not gameplay decision, thus lowering the quality of games. Yeah. Studios that are run by people who actually appreciate the products they use. To be fair, this is a problem that's a lot more seen in creative industries, because like even though there are people who are capable of making very short-sighted profit decisions, people who work at like General Electric who make fridges, right? They use a fridge. They know kind of what people who own a fridge want. Some of them make very stupid decisions, and you know, while facing trends and stuff. But they generally understand what people who have a... Oh, okay, now you got a turret.
Look at you, Captain High and Mighty. Well,
they generally understand, oh yeah, you probably want a fridge to fucking work and have like lots of space to store stuff. Or how hard to make work. It's easier to break them into small teams. It seems to be happening naturally. Yeah. Well, and like one or two big projects aren't a huge deal, but the thing with large teams is they get these large teams to make one successful large project, right? Or they make a small project and then a medium project and balloon to a large project, and they never break them up. Like I think there's a place for large teams. I do. There are a few games that have had really large teams that have been really good, right? What is it, like GTA? GTA 5 had a massive team, and you know what? It's not my cup of tea, but it's a really fun game. GTA Online is a whole different story, whatever. But like GTA 5, that was a solid game. A lot of people who enjoy those type of games enjoyed it. And it was made by a giant team. Red Dead 2 was made by a giant team, and also like had a lot of good critical praise, and people liked it. Giant teams can work. The problem is if your entire strategy is based around making giant teams work, you're gonna suffer from that. You just are. Because you can't always do the giant team. Not every project needs to be a giant team. And not everything needs to be on the level.
Nuggets into a cell with one hand.
Not everything needs to be this like giant production. Looking at Pokemon, for example, like if the game, imagine if the Game Freak team decided, all right, to decide our next like direction, we're gonna make a bunch of smaller games. So we're gonna have like 4 different Pokemon games, and we're gonna divide the team up into groups, and you guys are all gonna go off and make your own game, completely separate. And we'll use this as like a jumping off point to see what our fans want. And you'll all get like a third of the budget, right? We'll have 3 teams, each will get like a third of the budget the normal Pokemon game will have. It also just makes sense from an economic lens. Why I'm surprised more game studios don't do it. Like, it feels like if you're like just looking at games from a numbers perspective, right? Lots of low-budget games that that have like low risk, low investment, and a potential for good profit, because like plenty of low-cost games can make lots of money. I mean, look at fucking Minecraft or whatever, right? I mean, even indie games, like, there's just, like, the fact that there's not much money on the line increases it. Giant teams have muscle. Exactly. Use where appropriate. The other thing is, I think that, they don't break them up. Giant teams are so hard to make work, it's easier to break them up into small teams. They don't break them up, though. That's the thing. They keep trying to make their giant team all work on the same project, and it's too many cooks in the kitchen. But if they were willing to break them up every once in a while, not even all the time. Like, I could see, like, having the team make one big game, breaking up for medium games and smaller games, and then coming back a few years later, you take what you learn, and you make some more big games, right? I feel like that strat could work well, and I feel like indie games are basically like laying out a roadmap for them. Like, there's no... Just because you're a AAA studio doesn't mean you can't make a small game. Several AAA studios have made, like, indie-style games, and have been, like, really successful.
Idolized you.
I mean, look at things like...
you throw muggers into a cell with one hand.
Look at, like, Portal, for example, right? Like, Valve was a huge company, but Portal was a small-ass project. Although Valve teams have always been pretty, like, lightweight anyway. They never really have, like, super giant teams. They lose the ability to make new ideas, they lose vision. Yeah. Well, and using brute force to make up for creativity, right? So they focus on making their games bigger because they think that makes them better. Bethesda is, like, the obvious go-to example, right? Like, they've spent their entire... I mentioned this before, right? They spent their entire career making their games bigger and better. Essentially iterating with more and more muscle on that one idea they could do really well, which was their big open world RPG. You know, started with Arena, then to Daggerfall, which was the largest game mech ever, then to Morrowind into 3D, into Oblivion with this massive world, into Skyrim where you could, like, scale mountains, and it felt like climbing a mountain to a mountain pass. Oh.
Why is it
Isn't
that
that good
wherever I
example?
go, something ends up on fire?
Alright, well, what about, what's, like, a good studio? Thinking of a AAA studio that's actually done good work in the last few years. What about Ubisoft? Oh god, I'm using Ubisoft as a positive example. No. Ubisoft. They did this.
Need a hand?
When I played that Prince of Persia game, right? The 2D one from like 2 years ago. Was it a year or two ago?
Nah, it's just a scratch. You're gonna be fine.
They split off a small team, made an excellent 2D Metroidvania game. Fantastic work. It was like a medium to small size game, had great voice acting, good animations, used some obscure mythology, right up my alley. Fun game. Fun game. And it was more interesting than any of their giant projects for Assassin's Creed have been in years.
Okay, I'm gonna die now.
Have been better than anything else they've done in years. Grow Up by Ubisoft is the best example. Grow Up, another great example. Ubisoft has proven their teams can do excellent work on small to medium projects. They really have, which makes it all the sadder they still focus on those gigantic releases. They're still trying to do those gigantic releases, even though they have proven that medium releases are definitely where their strengths are. Medium, like, AA games are where Ubisoft shows its true abilities, I think. They are the best at, like, their teams are, I don't know if it's just like the people they hire there are good at working at those at that size team, or their management works best at, like, organizing everyone, but something goes wrong when Ubisoft team gets too big. It turns into this, like, boring, just tasteless paste of a game. Like, they've made Gruul into a playable product. And it happens when they go too big. I have not been interested in Assassin's Creed games since Black Flag. I have gone back and played the old ones. I tried to play Odyssey because, you know, I'm a Greek mythology nerd. I could not play it. I got it for free on Epic Game Store, and I still couldn't play it. I got it for free, and I couldn't bring myself to finish it. This was back in college, when I had way more time. Made 3D Dragon's Lair platformer when they were sitting on... See, inventors don't want AA profit, they want AAA profits. Yeah, but, like, 3 AA profits might make you more money. It just, it drives me insane. It drives me insane when, like, the money people are like, but it's not profitable. It's like, you want to risk all your money on one shot instead of spreading it out through multiple attempts.
Dead right.
I mean, the movie industry is the same way, right?
The shining star of the Force turned out to be the master.
Ever hear of Dunbar's number?
Crooked cops and the shrewd
I've never heard of what's Dunbar's number?
He didn't just bite off more than he could chew. He crossed a mouse that once believed in him. At least the shrews are safe now. As for
Dunbar's
more
number.
problems,
You did not hear of Dragon's Lair?
nothing
No, I've heard of
lasts
Dragon's
through
Lair. That was
John's
that,
best
like,
fondue, can't
animated Don Bluth game, right? The one Don Bluth animated? For, like, old arcade cabinets? Yeah, Dragon's Lair. Like, you know, the one where you basically had to input a very specific string of inputs at just the right time in order to beat the puzzle, quote-unquote.
You don't mean. That's right. Time to crack open the good stuff, bud.
Dunbar's number is approximately 150, which is a significant common limit number of stable social relationships a person can maintain. Oh, okay, I have heard of this, yes. Also, isn't there also something that's like, you can only maintain a certain number of close relationships and then, like, moderate relationships? Social relationships, relationships in which an individual knows who each person's relationship. Quick time, even movie, basically. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Go with a bang.
Double cheese Furman, the oldest vintage you got tucked under there. Make it 2.
Between Dead End and Sleeper Hit, it only becomes apparent with patience. Yeah.
Well, slap
the movie
my
industry is the
tail
same
and
way,
call
though,
me
right? They
fancy.
keep spending all this
How we
money on these,
started
like,
to think
giant
this ball would outlive
blockbusters.
us both.
When it's
Big
like,
day, huh?
even
Big
Marvel,
enough,
like,
John.
I feel like
Missing
MCU has
Shrews
forgotten
case,
that it, like, was
it's
built
done.
on kind of
Turns out
obscure
it was messier than a
characters
trench coat and
in,
a
like,
cheese
smaller
burst.
budget movies.
Crooked
They were big,
cops,
they were big
cheese
movies,
leggers,
but they were, like,
offshore money,
smaller
a
budget than a
real
lot of stuff
crime
nowadays.
circus. And now,
Weirdly enough, I've
it
actually
is
been more
over.
interested in what the MCU's been doing.
I got 'em
Not their
all,
big
John.
universe stuff.
The
Fuck that
redlining
nonsense.
drones and the crooked
If you have not
queen
watched
bee,
Thunderbolts,
and
though,
those
last year
shrews are
Thunderbolts
heading
came out.
home
Watch
as we
Thunderbolts.
speak.
Solid movie. It's
most
very
of them, anyway.
focused on, like,
No more
depression
raids, no more kidnappings.
and feeling like shit and
Just,
learning to
thought you'd
live
like to
and
know.
grow from that feeling and not, like, cave
Well,
in on yourself.
don't choke
It's
on all that
about
lifted
dealing with
spirit.
depression, basically,
Look,
as a movie.
Jack,
It's
don't
very,
get
very
me
well
wrong.
done.
That's good news. Great even. Warms the old
The
ticker.
only good thing to come out of the fucking Black
Maybe
Widow
even
movie is
earns
Yelena,
a
I swear.
headline or two. But
Once the team grows
let's
over
not
this
kid
size, it becomes
ourselves.
impossible for a normal
It
person to
doesn't
maintain.
end here.
Because they can't
Give it
because they
a
can't maintain a
week,
relationship
maybe
with
a
everyone.
month.
Ah.
Someone else to start clipping.
100%
It's
of the
just
time,
how
yeah.
it is. Always has been.
Yeah.
But until rodents like me can take a bus without getting face planted in a rose bed simply for being short, it ain't over. Your drink's salty enough without me raining on it. You've done good, Jack. Real good. It's just...
Nah, John, I get it. It ain't the finish line, but it's a step. And if that one step gets you closer to making Shrew Thicket a reality again, then
You know,
I'll
Jack
keep
Pepper's a
walking.
good friend.
All right,
He's a
all
good
right,
friend for
you
John.
Noble idiot.
He left the
Making me
police
all
force because
misty-whiskered.
he did not
To
like,
Shrews, John.
you know, working with
To
them.
Shrew
It
Thicket.
turns out he's a very good judge of
Better
character,
feel
weirdly
corny,
enough. Except for the police chief, who he thought was a good guy, wasn't.
Oh, don't mind me. Just
And he's taking the jobs.
professionally.
He's doing the new art detective thing of, I'm not a good guy, but I'm not just going to leave a dame to suffer.
So,
Anti-heroes
sport,
pretend they're not good people.
Is it done? Did we save the little...
Well, it's done, and they're safe, more or less.
Short-term
And
thinking,
the
though, fucking
bastards
swear,
behind
is the
them.
enemy of
Did they
mankind.
finally get us
Thinking only
slapped
of the
from
next quarter's
hired arm
profits
of
jams
justice?
everyone.
Jack!
You there, buddy?
Yeah.
No, Corny, I'm not there. None of this is there. Hell, none of this is even in the right country.
Jack.
It was Captain Goddamn Sims. Him and his pack of crooked badges he either bought or bullied into his operation. The same Sims who was my shiny friggin' North Star when I was sweeping pavement as a beat cop. Briefly, anyway. He wasn't just off course. He built the course. He was running this trafficking ring the whole time. I didn't want to believe it, Corny. Not until the pieces fit too damn well together to ignore.
You know, it actually is a pretty good detective story,
you know
all things
what they
considered.
say,
Lots of, like,
sport.
different mysteries all
Never
coming together
meet
into
your
this, like, grand
hero.
conspiracy. I really like it. Like,
Well, I
take out
didn't
the
just
cheese
meet him.
puns. and like make the character like take out some of the jokes and a lot of like the ridiculousness, the over-the-top sci-fi elements, and it kind of becomes like a solid detective noir supernatural
but the
story.
shrews are safe now,
Just like
right?
really solid.
Shouldn't that count for something?
Yeah, sure. For how long? How long before someone else comes along, thinking they can make an easy buck off the little guy?
I would say this is a bit ham-fisted, but this is actually how noir stories tend to be written.
New world plans.
I remember when I was reading Maltese Falcon and like the monologuing, monologuing people. They got a monologue.
I would.
Everybody's got a monologue.
You know, Corny, your heart's in the right place, but sometimes I think you'll miss what's right under your snout. From up there in your high perch, you don't see the grind, the cracks.
Life's messy.
Life's messy down here. It's real, and it pities nobody.
You know why I
Not
came
flawless,
to you
but
with
very
this in the
solid.
first
2010s
place?
gaming, yeah.
Because I'm dirt cheap and too stubborn to quit?
No. Because between the two of us, you're the one who gets it.
See, I get why
Boots
he's
on
like,
the
I
ground.
get why he's friend with him.
Eyes wide open.
Even if they don't
You
agree on stuff, and
understand this
Cornelius can be a bit
world
stuck
in
up.
ways I never will.
He understands
trust
his
you
limitations,
to do
and he
what's
trusts Jack
right.
to make decisions when
So
he is
while you're
to act when he is
taking this
unwilling or
wicked machine
unable to.
apart piece by piece,
That's like a very
I make
real,
sure it doesn't
understandable
get
position, right?
rebuilt.
Like knowing you're not in a
And with
position where you can
crooked cops out of the
understand
picture.
It wasn't just
or like
crooked cops,
acknowledging
or
it.
cheese luggers for that matter. Too many highbrow mice on one boat for it to be just a coincidence. There's something else here, something bigger. I just
He's like, look,
can't pin it down yet.
You're
You
right.
will,
I can't understand.
You just
But
can't fix
that
it
is
all in
also why I
one
come to you,
swing.
bud. Because I know you do understand.
Remember what I told you?
And you are
back
willing
in
to
the
tell
old
me
world,
when I don't.
after we dodged that shelling right before R&R.
Live to fight another day?
That's right, soldier. Live to fight another day.
I like it. I like their friendship. It's very real. The two main friends he has with Cornelius and the bartender are very real. Like they clearly have known each other
If
for
you're
a
ever
long
stuck,
time.
Jack,
They give
just
you like a
follow the money.
lot to go with it, right?
Morning.
Is she just like living on this bench now?
And
Or is she living in my house? Because her father is like dead and her mom's already dead.
Hey, language.
I still have no idea if she's living here or not. Anyhow, I think this is a good stopping point. We're at about 9:30. Ain't this Spyro quote? I don't know. Oh man, that reminds me. Spyro's getting its like Legend series remastered, right? That's gonna be fun. Anyway, I think this is a good place to stop. You know, you got saved, got through a few levels, got a bit distracted, but I mean, the riverboat was fun. Like the setting, like the art, like the music, like the story. So I guess I will see you all next time, where we will hopefully finish Ninja Gaiden. Bye.